Malawi. You know when Parliament says, today we elect the Speaker, and you think it'll be quiet and respectful? My guy, forget it. Today was not a meeting, it was a movie. From whispers in the corridors to side-eye glances across the benches, MPs came ready with speeches, strategies, and maybe even hidden calculators. Welcome to GlobalPulseNewz, where we decode the drama behind the desk. Today's headline, Parliament Chaos. Malawi MPs clash in speaker election drama. We're talking Suleman versus Peter Dimba, plus a few hopefuls who showed up like surprise guests at a wedding. The gavel wasn't the only thing dropping. Jaws were dropping too. Phones buzzing, reporters sweating, and even the clerks of Parliament looking like, or Sati easy again. When Malawi's lawmakers gather for a vote this big, alliances shift faster than minibus fares after a fuel hike. So buckle up, grab your tea or your kulchibuku, because I'm about to walk you through 5 wild revelations from today's parliamentary showdown. Let's roll. Revelation number 1 hits like a thunderclap. Before anyone even shouted, "Order, order," the surprises had already started. By 10 a.m., the clerk's desk looked like a voter registration center, nomination forms piling higher than Parliament's promises. 5 names dropped in one morning: Suleman, Peter Dimba, Sandra Scott, Larsen Vigaro, and Kondani Nanguma. 5! But here's the twist. The rules allow only 4. Basi zoda bwita easy. The last one in, poor Kondani Nanguma, missed the speaker's shortlist by minutes. Imagine running a marathon and tripping at the finish line. When the clerk announced the cutoff, you could feel half the room exhale in relief and the other half mutter, tamvaka lezi menezi. Everyone pretended to be calm, but the political maths had already begun. Who's backing who? Which party's playing which card? Samia Suleman's camp walked in confident, blazer sharp, handshake firmer than inflation. Peter Dimba's team rolled deep, whispering strategy like a football huddle before a penalty. Even independent MPs suddenly found themselves popular, getting smiles, lunch invites, and maybe small reminders of friendship. You know how it goes in Lilongwe. By midday, the speaker's chamber felt like a high school election, with adults pretending it's serious business. 5 nominations shrunk to 4, but the tension tripled, and as one MP whispered to another, "My brother, today no one is your friend until the votes are counted." But that was just the warm-up, because next came the speeches, and these weren't speeches, they were campaign trailers. Now, if you thought Parliament speeches were boring, prepare to be entertained. Samia Suleman's nomination speech came with more praise than a wedding reception. Honorable Karonga Central took the floor like a hype man, calling Samia a visionary, a unifier, a leader who could probably fix both the economy and your Wi-Fi. He listed everything: Suleman's leadership in agriculture, his business empire, his role in football, transport, even tourism. At one point, someone whispered, is he running for speaker or president? The crowd laughed, but the man kept talking, smooth, confident, and clearly rehearsed. When he ended with, "Let us honor this appointment and vote for Honorable Samir Suleman," half the house clapped, half rolled their eyes, and a few checked their phones like, "Any news from our camp?" Then came Peter Dimba's turn, and woo, the energy shifted. His supporters from MCP walked in like they owned the floor. Honorable Monguzi, moving his nomination, didn't just talk about Dimba, he preached. Integrity, humility, experience, justice. You think he was reading from a leadership handbook. He warned against a crooked speaker and said, if you are a fool before leadership, you'll only become a bigger fool. My guy dropped bars like a rapper in a suit. You could see MPs laughing, others nodding, some biting their lips like, this guy is talking about me right now. It was a verbal boxing match with decorum and a dash of drama. And just when the microphones cooled down, the real game started, the backroom bargains. That's where Malawi politics turns from speech to strategy. Now, listen, if you think the vote was decided on the floor, you're new here. The real election happens in hallways, parking lots, and WhatsApp groups named Let's Unite for Malawi 2025. Sources, those anonymous ones who speak after Nsima, say that last night was a circus. Meetings at hotels around Lilongwe went till 2 a.m. MPs jumping from room to room like students cramming for exams. Promises of committee positions, budget allocations, and even a few remember us in development projects requests were flying around like mosquitoes in rainy season. By morning, alliances looked different. One MP who swore loyalty to Dimba yesterday was seen shaking hands with Suleman's team today, and vice versa. Malawi politics, never boring. When reporters asked about these late-night meetings, one MP smiled and said, "We were discussing unity and peace."
Unity indeed, especially unity of benefits. Rumor even has it that one camp offered transport refunds so tempting that some MPs started calculating fuel for next year already. But to be fair, it's not all shady. Some were truly debating values, asking, who can lead this house without turning it into a drama series? Good question. Still, by the time the bell rang for voting, everyone knew this was more than just choosing a speaker. It was a test of loyalty, a reflection of party discipline, and a mirror of how our politics really works, with equal parts passion, panic, and payments. But hold on, you haven't heard the best part yet, because when votes started counting, tension rose like load shedding in rush hour.
So the clerk stands, clears her throat, and calls the house to order. The room goes quiet, but that fake quiet, the one where everyone is calm on the outside, but inside they're praying, sweating, and side-eyeing their neighbors. 221 members present, she says. 2 absent. The math was tight, my guy. You could cut the tension with a butter knife. Ballot papers ready, pens clicking, and one honorable member whispering, "Hey, komaiziziringa di movie on Netflix." The voting starts. Each MP walks up, slow and dramatic, as if they're in an Oscar ceremony. Some smile at the clerk like they just made a noble decision. Others drop the paper like they're throwing shade. The gallery watches, journalists on edge, cameras zoomed in, every movement recorded like evidence for future political gossip. After an hour, it's time to count. You could hear the flipping of papers louder than the fans in the chamber. Dimba's camp cheering softly after each mark, Suleman's side pretending not to count aloud. One MP whispers, "Tikupita, tikupita." The other side replies, tuone pano." And when the final tally dropped, boom, the room split in half. One half cheering, the other looking like they just saw fuel prices rise again. Whether you were for Suleman or Dimba, one thing was clear. The speaker's chair just became the hottest seat in the country. But wait, the story didn't end with the gavel, because what happened after that, outside the chamber, was pure Malawian reality show energy. As the clerk announced the winner, half the MPs erupted, clapping, shouting "Bravo!" and patting backs like it was a football victory. The losing camp? Faces tighter than end-month budgets. Some tried to smile for the cameras, but you could see the pain in HD. Within minutes, the corridors of Parliament turned into a political marketplace. Journalists chasing quotes, supporters chanting slogans, and some MPs already forming new alliances before the ink on the results dried. Malawi politics doesn't wait, it recycles itself instantly. Social media exploded faster than an overloaded Zesco transformer. Facebook groups went wild. "Samir deserves it." "Dimba was robbed." "We need fresh blood." Everyone suddenly became a constitutional expert overnight. Meanwhile, outside, supporters waved banners, shouted party slogans, and took selfies like they were in a campaign rally. Security guards had to step in when some fans got a bit too passionate with their celebration. You know, Malawians, even democracy must trend. But beneath all the noise, one truth stood out. This speaker election wasn't just about one chair. It was a mirror of Malawi's political heartbeat, loyalty, ambition, and survival. Whether you wear red, blue, or just your village t-shirt, one thing is certain. This parliament will not be quiet. Not this year, not with these faces. So what does all this mean for you, me, and everyone who's tired of the same stories? Let's wrap this up. So there you have it, Malawi, the speaker election that felt more like a blockbuster. Samir Suleman walks away with the gavel, Peter Dimba walks away with respect, and the rest of us, we walk away with memes, hot takes, and a renewed reminder that politics here is not for the faint of heart. But let's be honest, this was more than a vote. It was a test of loyalty, a test of unity, and proof that our democracy, while messy, is still alive and kicking. Parliament might be divided, but one thing is for sure, the people are watching closer than ever before. So, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do the thing, my guy. Hit subscribe, drop your comment, and tell us, who do you think really won today, the speaker or the system? And don't forget, show some love to our sister channels.
sparkling kids and Ramai Fatima, for entertainment, learning, and good vibes for the whole family. Let's grow together, Malawi. Your voice, your pulse, your news. This is Global Pulse News, where the truth comes with flavor. Till next time, keep it loud, keep it real, and keep watching the drama unfold.